Well, hello there, and welcome to this week's edition of Transformer of the Week. Yes, well, if you're one of the 14 people who watched it last week, you will know that it's March. Well, everyone knows it's March, unless you're not watching it when it's not March. As you may or may not know, if you watched it last week, in March, I am going to be giving you Megatrons. Well, not giving you. It's going to be one of those videos, isn't it? We don't edit here. We don't edit. Warts and all, fly on the wall, rubbish spilling out my mouth while I try to articulate something about Transformer. Well, I'm just ending up waffling, as I am now. Anyway, yes, Megatrons. March is all about Megatrons. March forward for Megatrons. And I said this week I'm going to do a Megatron. So I am going to do a Megatron. And we're going to be looking at Transformers Prime. Sharkticon Megatron. Yeah, this is an extensive retool and recolor of the Voyager class Megatron from the Prime line. And yeah, as you can see, this is the vehicle mode that turns into a funny looking space plane that is now even funnier looking, as it's got some kind of animal mouth at the front, teeth and stuff, and it's all these lovely colours on it. Now, again, it's not Prime Megatron is not G1 Megatron, but he is, you know, the only Megatron in that continuity, unlike Beast Wars Megatron. So yeah, it's kind of from the aligned continuity type stylings he takes a lot from, whereas, you know, in this Megatron was basically Spartacus until you know, he was a slave gladiator who rose up to try and, you know, rid oppression, but ended up with the power corrupting him and becoming, you know, an even worse tyrant than the ones that he disposed of. Unlike Beast Wars Megatron, who's a thinking man's Megatron, who's got a very limited crew and very limited resources, so has to, you know, play this game and long game of just to get his rise to power and victory. This is a Megatron. It's pretty much, I suppose, in Prime. He's already running. He's got the forces. He's got, you know, he's got a big vast ship full of Viacom clones, and he's got the brute strength to pretty much, you know, beat the Autobots most of the time. So the Autobots have to work on their guile. I mean, this is a Megatron. He's not as clever as he thinks he is, but he is still clever enough to keep one up on his crew who are trying to be, you know, treacherous towards him. So, you know, he's not quite as clever as he thinks he is, but he does still have some, you know, he's not stupid. He does have, you know, a lot of plans and he is aware of what's going on most of the time. He is very much that figure of that power corrupts. I mean, he'll find different sources of power and he'll use them, and it doesn't really matter because the consequences of it, as long as, you know, he gets that upgrade and as long as he sort of is able to, you know, fight with more power and more dominate people, then it's kind of the ends justify the means, and he no matter really, you know, he takes on dark energy and he gets a bit, you know, crazy. This is the Sharkticon version, and apparently picking up this shark tooth blade, or the warp blade of Tyrus, is giving him all this power here. The figure itself, I much like some of the extra tweaks they've given it. I mean, anyway, I'll just go back to that point I was saying about power corrupts, because I mean, even here you can see he's taken on this new power, and his Decepticon symbol is now green, and it's warped, and it's got this big gaping maw on it. So it's, you know, it's this very sort of like, what power of the Elder Gods have you taken on, Megatron? But yeah, vehicle mode itself, it's all pegged in okay, but it's just a space jet. I mean, because it doesn't transform into something that we recognise, so you could do anything with it. And the fact that, you know, you can still see hands and stuff and feet, and I mean, I know that's the undercarriage, but because it's like a Cybertronian mode, I mean, at least it's a step better than the original mould where you could just have the head popping out. For me, it doesn't cut it. If it's not, I forgive a lot of things in Transformers in vehicle modes when the vehicle mode is something like Earth-based or something that has a point. But the fact that they could have just put that in the air and designed anything, and the fact that it doesn't really work. I mean, these legs and stuff, the wings and stuff, it just doesn't work that well. I think it's just a bit of a misstep. But not just my opinion of it, but I'm just not very forgiving of made up modes that don't actually work that well. But anyway, being a Transformer, let's get him out of this thing. He does transform, and again, it's very the leg. Whereas like this bit is quite simple. The actual transformation of the legs is very finicky, and it's like, well, you could have designed it to do anything. Why have you made it this, quite this complex movement of hinges here and stuff? You could have just come up with any design, and we would have been okay with that. But no, you had to just go and make this very complex manoeuvring. Thankfully, turning them into robot mode is nowhere near as finicky as it is on this mode. So kind of just move everything back. It's not even very. Oh, can't even think of the term of it now. It'll come better. It's intuitive. It's not very intuitive, which is what I like. I don't mind complex transformers as long as there's a bit of follow through with it. I think that's the legs done, and so we're over the worst of it. With all the rambling. So this bit is a bit more intuitive, and it's just a case of unpegging things and unfolding things, which we like in transformations, don't we? Yes. So everything kind of splits back. Ooh. Again, it's kind of a bit scary because this is one of the first figures I've got where I've kind of gone, ooh, at the plastic quality. It kind of just, it's just been a bit, it's not as good as what I expect really from a Transformer. Times were what they were. Look, thankfully, it looks like we're back on form with having some, decent plastic in our figures. So, we can have all that. But we're almost there. We are almost there, living on a prayer. And this is the money here. This is Sharkticon Megatron in his robot mode. Isn't that just lovely? It's got this just brilliant colour scheme going on. Just flap this at the back. I mean, he's got these very Megatron feet. I mean, that could be handles of a gun. That is very much a Megatron-y style foot, and then he's got this just head sculpt which is part Megatron, part undead fish, which really sets it off. And it kind of, the colours, it's got this kind of, well, it's not grey, it's kind of like a metallic, but also got that hint of like Cadbury's Galaxy, a Galaxy chocolate. It's got kind of a rich brown to it, and then coupled with the teal and the pink and the green here, it kind of makes it's this kind of this Megatron that wasn't rebuilt by Unicron, but he's been rebuilt by Willy Wonka. Just because only he could make a combination of chocolate, fish, and candy. So yeah, he has the Blade of Tartarus Tatara, the warp sword of Tatar, the Horus, and he can hold it in his hand, pew 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 pew, or he can stick it back here on his arm, well, loosely. So, you know, I'll just hold that in place. Megatron style it, but it's like half a mile away from his arm because he's got his gill bits well, just fish bits that stick out of the side of his arm. Does this one hold it any better? Not particularly. Yeah, but yeah, it does that, and it also transforms itself. So I quite like it because it's this big fish beam blaster, as you see. And then if we move that into shot, move that, then it just turns into the shark tooth spear, and this bit clicks into place, and that will hold it into place now. So you can use that as a handle. You can use that as a handle here. So it kind of clicks through. So yeah, you can use that as a handle. I've got this big blade. I mean, I think it's just a shame that tongue that comes sticking out when you convert it isn't a 5mm peg. It's just a bit smaller than that. If that was actually a 5mm, you could get in here. You can just about get in here just through friction alone, and that looks much better because it's just this massive blade that he's got. You know, he can he could rival the I've got to put Skyboom Shield on, or Skyboom Shield. What's the blade? The Star Saber. He could rival the Star Saber with his shark tooth blade spear here. So all in all, I do like him. I'm not a fan of the alt mode. The plastic quality is just off, but I think just for the extensive retool and for just this colour palette they've just flung out, it is just a really, really cool toy to own. So I think, you know, we can forgive those certain, you know, elements where it falls short, just to have this just absolutely shit crazy iteration of Megatron, because he's, you know, Megatron's not known for his sense of humour or for, you know, being a jive cat. No one's known. Megatron is not known for being a jive cat. I don't even know if anyone is known for being a jive cat. But now this is a jive cat, fishy Megatron bloke. Anyway, that's been Transformer of the Week. Join me next time where we'll still be March and we'll give you another Megatron. Until then, peace out. Sniff my finger. Bye bye.